All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Colton Posey Fishing. Today we're out here on Lake Tuscaloosa. The water is super muddy. We've had wishy-washy weather. A couple weeks ago it was like 30 degrees in the middle of the day, or actually like 18, and then moved on up. Now today it's like 60 something out here. So we're going to talk about super muddy water. We're going to be talking about the baits and stuff that you use during super muddy water, and then when this weather and how it affects the fish. So stay tuned. This is something you don't want to miss. Everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the super stained water in these wintertime months. So right now it's January. I think it's the 7th, but either way, we got a lot of wind. The water's super muddy. The weather's been wishy-washy, and a lot of people will get confused, and so does the fish. So it's no big deal. You have to slow down, take your time. Like today, me and a buddy's out here, and the fish are just scattered. There's no one place where we're catching school and bass, so we're not sitting in one spot catching 50 fish off this one spot, okay? It's one fish here, one fish here, one fish here. And we can continue on in the day catching fish here and there, but days like this, you have to understand it is super tough. No matter what you do, it's going to be a tough day on the lake. You may find some clean water further up north or wherever your dam may be located. Usually it's on the south end of your lake, but this particular lake here, the further you go south, the cleaner the water will get towards that dam. We're up north, this water's dirty. So your dirty water, one of the things that we caught some fish off of, and most of our bites come off of, was the old river rat war eagle spinnerbait. This spinnerbait right here has the orange kicker. This time of year, that orange kicker helps provide contrast in the water where these fish can target the bait a lot better. A lot of times, you know, people will put trailer hooks on the bottom of their spinnerbaits because they short strike. With this bait in particular, you don't really have to worry about that because they're going to be targeting this orange blade, so your hookup ratio is going to be a lot better. These fish are going to get it a lot better. But typically I take this bait and I'll throw it close to whatever structure I'm trying to fish, and then I'm slow rolling that bait out. And typically your bite's going to come whenever you bump a piece of cover, or either you're further out and the fish is trying to chase that bait down to get it, okay? So I'm throwing this on a 7:1 gear ratio. I got a Ducket Triad 7-foot medium heavy action. I like a medium heavy action rod for a spinnerbait. Whatever rod you prefer to use, it doesn't matter, but this is the one that I have in particular for this. I do like the micro guides. It helps with castability as far as accuracy to get the bait where you need it. But the river rat war eagle spinnerbait is wonderful. That orange kicker blade is the key. Another bait that I really like to use to target these fish this time of year, whether the water's muddy or whether it's super clear, is a jerk bait. This in particular jerk bait is what I prefer to use when the water is stained or muddy. If I feel the need, as far as the fish suspending or something like that, and I need to catch those suspended fish, the jerk bait is wonderful. This right here specifically is the KVD sexy jerk bait. This one right here is the chrome gold, but it also has a little orange belly. The orange belly helps provide that contrast in the water that you need to help the fish find it. It's also got light rattles and stuff. This is the junior, so it's only got 2 hooks on it instead of 3. The reason I use that is because in this particular area right here in this lake, the shad are small, so I use a smaller profile bait to mimic those shad. The next thing, got a few bites off of this. This time of year, your dingers are going to shine over your ribbon tails or anything like that with a lot of action. A lot of times these subtle baits are going to provide a wonderful presentation for these fish to just kind of creep up on it, inspect it, and eat it, okay? You take this bait, you cast it out, you let it hit bottom, and you just drag it, okay? You're not picking it up and hopping it and stuff like that like you typically would during the summer or something like that. This time of year, you want it slow, you want it subtle, you want to mimic what those fish are doing and the bait, whatever the bait's doing. Typically your bait's not going to be going crazy and swimming around like it's summer or the water's super nice and warm. They're going to be moving slow. Their metabolisms and stuff is going to be slower, so you really have to pay attention to that. So I typically throw a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight and I peg it, okay? That helps me bring it through rocks, wood, and stuff like that without the weight getting hung up on whatever grass tangling around your eye or anything like that, so you didn't really have to worry about it. I just Texas rig the dinger, throw it out there, let it hit bottom and drag it. And a lot of times your strikes are going to come when you're feeling that tick on the bottom. You'll feel the tick, 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 tick of the rocks or whatever you're hitting, and then once you pull off of that, you're going to feel the pull, and that's when you set the hook on the fish. But this particular color, the black and blue, is wonderful for days like today. We have bright blue sunny skies, but the black and blue is going to provide an illumination in the water where it's kind of like, you know, if you're in the dark and somebody walks by you or something like that, you can feel that person close to you. It's the same way with this. It just brings a little bit of contrast and stuff to the water. Also, to understand your crawl colors, okay, in different lakes it's going to be different. Sometimes your blues are going to work better to mimic your crawfish, and sometimes your green pumpkins and reds are going to work better to mimic the crawfish. It all depends on the nutrients that's in the water during that time, okay? That's what adjusts the color of the crawfish, is the nutrients that are in the water. It's a very important detail that you need to understand. But you can look at research and stuff like that on it, and it'll tell you everything you need to know if you want to get more in depth about the way the crawfish change colors and stuff like that. So your dingers, your Ned rigs, your stuff like that, that is going to be real good baits this time of year for subtle presentations. All right, and then finally we have got the Berkley Money Badger. The Berkley Money Badger, it's a newer bait. I actually got to try it out today. I really love the action in it. It got a few bites on it. Didn't really get any fish in the boat on it, but this bait right here should shine in areas like this. The only issue is we're just not running it a whole lot today. But I do like the way this bait presents itself. I'm not sponsored by Berkley or anything like that, but I do, even though I've only used it once, I do believe this will be a really, really good bait this time of year. So if you're on a specific lake or something like that that muddies up, the spring crawl is wonderful. It provides a lot of contrast in the water with a deep orange, but they've also got another one that's the green crawl. It's got a green pumpkin back with a bright red. It's going to mimic the crawfish a lot better also, and then they've also got some black and blues. So depending on what your crawl are looking like in your specific lake, will depict the color that you're going to use. So the Berkley Money Badger, I have to give it a thumbs up, maybe 2 thumbs up after I get to work with it a little bit more, but we hadn't got to work with it a whole lot today. But just the action and the way the bait moves, I do like that it comes with fusion hooks, so you don't have to change the hooks out on it. Y'all all know that I'm huge on Gamakatsu. I've always used Gamakatsu my whole life, but the Berkley fusion hooks, I've become a big fan of them. They are really, really good hooks. So guys, windy, muddy water, weather changing, all that good stuff. That's basically what we did up here on the lake today. Caught some fish, not a whole lot, but which we hadn't been fishing that long. But either way, I just wanted to give you a breakdown of what I do when the weather's like this and the water turns muddy this time of year. So I appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a whole lot. Drop a comment if you feel the need to. Ask any questions you need to. I try to answer them to the best of my abilities. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.